Today, I'm joined by an incredible artist, a producer, a man of many talents, really. I've met him. I think I met him at a wax show a couple years back. His album's about to come out May 23rd. Jackson Whalan, welcome to the Mike Squires and Friends podcast.
Thanks for having me, man.
Yeah, where are you coming from today, just to let the people know?
I'm coming from Western Massachusetts, Berkshire County. It's like equidistant between Boston and New York, pretty much.
Yeah, and you know, it's funny, we've spoke about this in the past because I did this studio tour with my homie Watsky, and we went to a studio that's literally right by your spot, right?
I love that this is the first thing that we're discussing, dude. Yeah, I live 20 feet away from there, Pilot Recording Studios.
Yeah, dude, I wear my Pilot shirt all the time, dude. Like,
nice.
all the time. It's like the little plane right here.
Yeah.
Like, but
shout out to Will.
Yeah. Have you done like a lot of work with Will up there? Like, how do you guys know each other? Like,
yeah. I recorded with my live band at Pilot Recording Studios in 2018. Which was like just a full day of tracking as many songs as we could. And then I did some work there as an assistant a couple times for some pretty cool projects.
Bro, do you know the guy that's down the road? He like has like this like cafe, but it's like, there's like, oh, you know what I'm talking about? You're smiling.
Pleasant in Maine, dude.
Is that, what's the dude's name, dude?
I forget his name, but yeah, it's a really quirky spot, right?
Bro, like, I have a video of me like, or you know what? It's actually a hilarious video that I need to resurface almost for this. But I did it because we were filming like this documentary for Watsky out there, and we did a video with this dude, and a chipmunk literally goes up on his shoulder mid-interview, and he pulls peanuts out of his pocket and starts feeding this chipmunk, dude. It was the most like Snow White thing I've ever seen, and it was just like so. He had a name for the chipmunk too, so it was like
That's so Berkshire.
Yeah, dude. How would you describe Berkshire to somebody who's never been there?
Oh man, the Berkshires is very beautiful. It's in these hills. And there's also a lot of crossover between New York City too. Like a lot of people come up there, different people have second homes, and Tanglewood is like the main performing arts, huge venue there. So there's a lot of like arts and culture, but it's also like a place where people go for peace and quiet. So I know it's peace and quiet, but what's the craziest thing you've seen up there, dude? There's probably some crazy nature things, I'd imagine. Definitely a lot of bears, man. There was a bear cruising around our neighborhood the other day. Yeah, sometimes that happens, but man, craziest thing. There was a big wildfire last year the Berkshires in Great Barrington, which was like we've never seen anything like that before. How did that, do you know how it started? I think it was started probably like most fires are, like, some fires are started by people intentionally or unintentionally. I think and that just gets too crazy. Yeah, so that was going on for like weeks. That was the craziest thing I've seen in the Berkshires recently. Yeah. So you're born and raised there? Yeah. What is it like growing up in the Berkshires? Growing up in the Berkshires was a lot of things, but it was I didn't expect to like discover rap or hip hop there, but there were like a few guys doing it in my hometown. One of them's name was Reggie. He goes by Dominic Omega. And so like I was like seeking out this kind of music because it just like inspired me the most. There's like wasn't a lot for young people to do. So oftentimes we would be like hanging out on the street, and like that led to one thing led to another. Like people struggle with substance abuse and stuff. And there was this youth organization called Railroad Street Youth Project, and they kind of took a lot of us under their wing and gave us outlets to do music and supported like being creative. So that really like helped me to have a positive path. Thank you for tuning in to the Mike Squires and Friends podcast. You can support by subscribing on YouTube or downloading on your preferred podcast platform. And definitely go do that because it helps us grow and I can have more incredible guests on the podcast. The Mike Squires and Friends podcast is proudly sponsored by DistroKid. Looking to broaden your musical horizons as an artist? Discover DistroKid. With its smooth and rewarding music distribution platform, DistroKid offers unlimited uploads while ensuring artists retain 100% of their royalties and earnings. Join the community of over 1 million artists who trust DistroKid to distribute their music across major platforms like Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, TikTok, Tidal, and so many others. Having personally used DistroKid since 2018, I can attest to their superiority amongst distribution services. Collaborating with fellow artists has become effortless, especially with the ability to easily send splits of songs, streamlining the creative process. With the DistroKid app, accessing these benefits is now more convenient than ever. Safely sign up or log in with two-factor authentication, upload releases on the fly, monitor earnings, and withdraw funds from your DistroKid bank. Stay updated on
royalties through push notifications, effortlessly share hyperfollow links, manage account details seamlessly, and track streaming stats from Spotify and Apple. Additionally, explore Mixia for professional-grade mastering, DistroVid for music video distribution, and Instant Share for secure file sharing with collaborators, producers, and more. The DistroKid app is available on both iOS and Android. Download it today from the App Store or Google Play Store to revolutionize your music career. Visit distrokid.com/VIP/Mike Squires to get 30% off your first year membership. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy this episode of Mike Squires and Friends. Yeah, so when do you what age are you actually getting into music and starting to rap? Are you producing first? What does that look like?
I produced at the same time I started rapping. I was making beats just so I could have something original to rap over. And I never thought that I would become the producer that I am today. I was only doing it as a utility to be able to rap and be able to put out music. But I was 9, 10, 11. I started making beats on Reason.
That's crazy, dude. How do you even so the youth program gave you access to Reason? How do you even how does a 9, 10-year-old have access to Reason?
I recorded, my parents helped me pay, it was $25 an hour to record with these couple producers in the area. And I was oh, what software are these guys using? And they were using Reason. So started on that. And then now I use Ableton. I've been using that forever. But that was what I saw these guys using. So I was well, that's what I need, that's what I need to do. So
yeah, that is crazy. So you're growing up. Did you have a first moment of success in music that or a spark moment that you're yo, I want to do this for the rest of my life?
I did, for sure. And this was through that youth organization. I performed at the United Nations when I was 17.
Insane.
And it was for an International Day of Peace event with a bunch of kids from all over the world.
Yeah, walk me through this, dude. So how does this opportunity, you're in school at the time.
Yeah.
Do they contact your parents? Why are they choosing you for this? And what does it look like, the whole process performing in front of the United Nations?
It was wild, man. I'll say the United Nations sound systems are definitely built for speaking, so, but I was as hype as I possibly could be when I was performing there. But basically the youth organization in my hometown was going down to the United Nations to be a part of this NGO, non-governmental organization. And they allowed some of us to be on this planning committee for this annual peace event. And so I proposed the idea of rapping and performing at the UN, and then they took to the idea. And there's a video on YouTube of me
that's insane,
getting people to put their hands in the air.
What does this look like? Because I just imagine a big oval desk or a big oval table that's clear down the center with every country around the world, and just Jackson Whalan just spitting hot bars. Is that what it looked like?
I mean, it was a big conference room with Jane Goodall sitting behind.
Jane Goodall?
Yeah, and Elie Wiesel.
Wait, hold on. Jane Goodall, is that...
These guys were the messengers of peace for the event. They were
Jane Goodall was the monkey lady.
Yeah.
What?
They were there because they were hosting the event.
You're telling me you rap bars in front of Jane Goodall?
Yeah, I'll send you the clip, bro.
Bro, that's an insane flex, dude.
So that was my affirming moment. And then beyond that, I was going to New York City performing at this place called the Nuyorican Poets Cafe. And then just one thing led to another, and it became a full-fledged pursuit.
I'm stuck on the Jane Goodall thing. Did you meet her?
I don't know if I met her, but she was definitely reacting to my performance.
Did she give you a head nod of just did you spit in bars? She gave you a head nod of just approval?
Yeah, she signed off for
That's
sure.
That's mad fire, dude. That would be my bio, dude. Jane Goodall's favorite artist.
Yeah.
But how insane, dude. Yeah, this is why I love this podcast.
That was the early days, man. And it was funny because rap became this, at first it was a way for me to express my anger and angst growing up and going through tough things as I was growing up, but then it became this positive thing for me. So yeah, the United Nations was that first moment where I was able to connect with people.
Would you be open to talking about some of these tough things and, struggles you had growing up?
Yeah, for sure, man. I mean, I definitely don't come from a rough town, but there was a lot of struggle in my hometown with substance abuse, drunk driving, people not having anything to do growing up. And I was exposed to a lot of that stuff pretty early on. And then also my parents split up when I was 9, and I just had like a lot of unexpressed feelings, you know, and music was the way that I was able to express those feelings and flip my struggles into something positive.
No, I think that's a beautiful thing because, dude, there's a lot of people too who deal with things very similar and go down the wrong path. You know what I mean? So like, I'd probably be super grateful for that youth group. Are you still in contact with them?
Yeah, I am still in contact with the Railroad Street Youth Project, and from time to time, like, I'll mentor somebody from there, or I'll do like an internship, try to like
really
help
cool.
kids out.
So it's kind of like a full circle moment for you.
Yeah, it really is a full circle for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, do you see some of the do you see yourself in some of the kids that are coming up now?
Yeah, I definitely see myself in some of the kids who are coming up now. And I think in some ways, like, our world is so different, bro. Like, remember when we grew up and you didn't have a phone and you just like go out and
just bike and just hope
you go
like,
find people. Like, there was no plan or anything. It was like, we're going outside and like, hopefully we see some homies at the skate park, and then the rest of your day could be like with them.
Yeah, dude. And honestly, like I really cherish those moments. It's Jet who's sitting in the studio over there. We actually hang out all the time, but I just ran into him in public today too.
Oh,
like
nice.
just like we were going to the deli and like I was like, how sick is that? You know what I mean? That you can just like, I know it's such a little thing, but it's like running into people and not like unplanned encounters are tight, dude.
And real life is just dope. So, yeah, like when I was growing up, there was, you know, we came up at the same time, so you know how it is. Like now we have our phones, and I'm not sure how much spontaneity there is as a kid when you're just like going out and trying to find what's up for the day. You know?
Well, you know what? We'll bring it to phone talk, dude, because, you know, I love your social media presence.
Thanks.
Dude, I love your looper videos. I was just hyping you up before. Like, if you guys haven't checked it out, Jackson has an incredible video of him, like, he has like a looper machine that basically like loops the sounds over and over, but you're able to like basically build all these sounds into a song. So he starts by jingling his keys. He's like, turn the radio on and off to get like in like, you know, sequence, and then he'll go and chop the beat up and start rapping over it. So
yeah,
did I explain that well?
Yeah, I mean, I can break down how it works. Like,
talk to me,
basically,
dude.
So like I use Ableton, which has a looper device, and so I'm like in the arrangement view of Ableton, I'm pre-automating the looping, and then I'll like go, like in this case it was the car wash, so I have it set to loop and then capture the loop and then start looping, and then I'll add the next thing in before I even like go out. So I'm like recording it live. My computer was like in the back seat, and I was like hold the mic up to the radio and then make the beat on the MPC, and all the stuff just starts looping. But yeah, that's really from like using Ableton for so long, and then using the MPC Live too, which is like the standalone beat machine.
And if I'm not mistaken, you did that at your live show too.
Yeah, I try to incorporate that into the show as well. Yeah.
Yeah. What's one of the most fun experiences you've had like using it live? Because I think I only saw you like from the side stage of the Wax show, and I was like, yo, this is sick, dog.
There's a couple times where I've done some live looping where I'll like grab an object from the audience and then I could like loop that, which is something I want to do more of. And I have certain moments in my live show where the Ableton will switch to like a kit, and I'll start playing the kit and like not just rapping in my live show, but like doing the beats too.
When's the first time you got into that? Like, what made you want to do that? Because I think that's something that makes you stand out.
The live looping?
Just the looping in general, too. I don't see a lot of people. I mean, you know, I see like the clips of like Ed Sheeran doing it with his guitar and stuff like that. But like for the most part, like I'd say 99% of people do not do that.
I love like the videos where people are like seamlessly looping, and that really inspired me. And also just like thinking about like, what can I share that's not just me rapping to a camera? It's like, and what are my skills? And then made me think about the beat making and how much fun that is for me too. So instead of just identifying as a rapper, I'm like really leaning into the production, and like, but I mean, every producer out there who's crushing it is what inspires me. But there's like some people doing it in a cool way, like FKJ or Tosh Sultana, or
did FKJ is it Masego?
They collabed, I think.
You know which one I'm talking about with
the sax.
Yeah, it's like that's like the first one I think of
I
too.
love that. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, it's fire.
Yeah, that one.
Totally.
But yeah, no, I don't see a lot of people doing it. And I think that is something that like makes you stand out too. Cause not for nothing, dude, in music, it's like you got to have something to stand out because there's so many people doing it, dude. It's like, what's the thing that like makes you memorable? And that's like one of the things I think of when I think of you, dude.
Yeah. And like, you're great at this too, man. You know, like that staying consistent, not just how much you post or how much you drop music, but what you do. And like the fact that you have a consistent, like people know Mike Squires, you know what I'm saying? Like you have recognizable things.
I appreciate it. I'm on a mission, dude.
And there was like one other recognizable thing that I had a while back, which I think this live looping thing is kind of like could be my thing long term. But I did this music video called Sensitive New Age Guy.
Tell me about it, dude.
And like it could have become like my whole thing, dude. I basically
hilarious name for a song, dude.
Dude, Snag, yeah. So this is my most viewed YouTube video, Snag. So when I was younger, I was like in college and very interested in Eastern spirituality and just like pretty much everything New Age, and really got into different things that actually helped me so much in my life, which is just like staying balanced and having spirituality and like meditation in different forms. And I lived in India for 3 months.
That's insane. We got to talk about that
Yeah.
after
So
yeah, you
we
can't
talk
like,
more about
it's
that,
crazy,
yeah.
dude.
And I studied sustainability, and I was like studying yoga, and came back to the US and like had insane reverse culture shock. And I felt like people were practicing spirituality in a way that was like almost funny to me, including myself. Like I was like, I learned to like stop taking myself so seriously about like burning Palo Santo wood or like whatever it is, like wearing crystal. Like I love all that stuff, but I decided to like just totally make fun of myself.
Yeah, but dude, I mean, that's honestly, I think there's a lot of value in that too, because like, I think people don't fuck with when you can't take a joke. You know what I mean? Like, and I think it's way more fire if you're in on the joke. Like, dog, I'm wearing an American flag suit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, I know this is silly.
Yeah,
you know
like
what I mean?
I roasted myself.
But dude, sometimes like, I mean, you think of one of the moments I think of is in 8 Mile, where like basically Eminem just calls himself out on everything.
That's how he won,
bro. That's how he won, and it gives anybody who's hating on you like no ammo because you already said everything they would have said.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So, and it almost makes you more invincible because you're like, I don't give a shit.
You got nothing on me. I already did this.
Yeah. So tell me, like, what does it look like? The song, like you drop the song and it just immediately starts going up. Does it take a second? What's that look like?
Yeah. So now it has like hundreds of thousands of views on YouTube, and back when Facebook mattered, it had like 500,000 views on Facebook, which I don't normally like. Yo, I have 500. I'm not gonna put that in my bio.
Yeah.
So it like caught on really quick.
No, that's awesome though.
And some things just do, and I think because it had the humor in it is what made it like go so fast.
I'm getting way more comfortable putting my vocals on records, and a lot of them have like little silly things in them, but I'm like, yo, it's because I'm a silly person, dude. You know what I mean?
Important.
It's like just staying true to myself. Like, it's like I'm not trying to be a funny guy, but I think just some of my natural thoughts sometimes are just silly. And like, I think there are people that kind of like look, especially in hip hop, like, you want to be hard, you want to be respected. But I think it's like, I don't know. I think if you're able to like have a good like laugh about it, I mean, it really depends on your goals, but like, I think it comes like when you do things like that, it comes across as you having a lot of fun. And I think when you're having fun, that makes everybody else have fun. Where instead of it like being like, and there are important, like, you know what I mean? It's okay to get down and get serious too, but I think there is a lot of value in just having fun with it.
Dude, I gotta send you a clip of the like behind the scenes filming it, because there were like moments where we were all just like dying laughing.
Cause like, what is the creative process? Because I'd imagine it'd be like, like, should I say this? Like, yo, it'd be funny if I said this, you know what I mean? And they're like, yo, you gotta.
I wrote that song with one of my mentors, songwriter Robbie Byer, and it was actually like he really came with the idea, Sensitive New Age Guy, because he heard it from somewhere, and we just started like joking about it, and then we turned it into a song together, and he plays on it too. And then my buddy, who's like an extremely accomplished electronic producer, Jade Cicada, remixed it and gave it this like more electronic vibe. So yeah, man, it's just like a wild time. It's 2016, and I was like in such a different place than I am now. But
We'll talk about it. One thing I want to talk to you though about, because we kind of brushed over it. You lived in India for 3 months.
yeah, I lived in India for 3 months.
What made the decision? Like, why did you do that?
I felt called to live there. Like I was studying different things about India and about specifically like sustainability and spirituality. And so I found a curriculum that was like a study abroad program through the new school where I was going to college in New York City. And so flew over. I was with like 10 other kids who were all in college studying sustainability, and lived in this eco village for like 3 months, and then traveled around. I was like in a train car with like a sleeper car 2 days, like going from the south to the north of India.
Insane, dude.
It was wild, man.
What's one of your favorite memories from your time in India?
I did a 3-day silent meditation retreat while I was in India, and it was really profound, man. It was like, all these ideas started flowing.
You got to explain this to me. So you're just not talking for what does this look like? You got to explain it to me, dude,
So
because
it's
I'm
like,
interested.
yeah, it's like a silent meditation retreat. So you're meditating for a lot of the day, and you don't talk, and you just like are there with yourself and your thoughts, and
Just ever being present.
yeah, for 3 days. And the funniest part about that was like there was this little like common area where all the people would like eat together, and there was this older lady who was there, and it was like all of us younger people and a few other people in the room. And one of us started laughing, and then like she started laughing, and it made us like
All laugh?
just start cracking up laughing, and we like couldn't talk. It was just the most funny thing, dude. But yeah, it was like that was a big thing for me to not talk for 3 days, because it's like everything I do is about communication and words and rapping and stuff. So
Yeah, I like that laughing story too, because to me that just shows that like energy is infectious. You know what I mean?
So
Y'all
funny.
didn't say anything. You've never met, probably, right? Like,
Yeah.
you guys like, or just met that day.
yeah,
kind of thing?
nobody
Like,
knew each other.
That's what I'm saying. So it's like, it just shows that what you put out there, it really happens. And look at the domino effect. You had one person laugh that caused a random person laugh that caused everybody to laugh. So it just shows that putting positivity out there really does have that effect.
It was so funny, man. It's like you can't talk for 3 days, and then you're just like,
Yeah, I've had the opportunity to travel to a lot of places, and I've had some like moments of culture shock. Was there any culture shock that you experienced when you were out there?
there was a lot of culture shock that I experienced when I landed in India. Like particularly right when I landed, I felt like I was on a different planet. It was crazy, and like it just, the vibe is so different. It's like the opposite. And then the real culture shock was coming back from India, and then being in like our society where you have like so many options for everything. Like being in a grocery store was like the trippiest thing in the world after like not being.
Yeah, what was it like in India?
Well, I was in like rural India for a lot of the time, so the food was being grown like right there, and there were no like American grocery stores that where you walk in and it's like everything's available to you at all times. So coming back, it was just like seeing what we have, how much we have here, and how many options we have. There's almost too many options here.
It's kind of insane, and like I forget what the statistic is, so I'm not going to say it, but just know there is a huge chunk of like American grocery store food that just gets wasted, dude.
Yeah,
and like, yeah, there are companies out there that are doing their best. They'll basically go through things that like are quote unquote expired, because they technically have these dates, but some of the food will still be good for extended period. But they'll go through the stuff. They'll be like good, bad, and then they'll, repurpose the food and give it to people in need, like in the U.S., which gets me excited. You know what I mean? It makes me feel better about
exciting.
it. But yeah, no, I could imagine, dude, where it's like, I think like basically they were making all the food grown count over there, where it's like, probably at the grocery store, they're throwing out bags and bags of this stuff a day, dude.
Yeah, I mean, I would imagine like when you're in a city in India, there's lots of issues there. When I was in rural India, it was like on this eco village where there were tons of farms, but there's lots of crazy stuff in India, man. Like I saw some wild things, dude. Like,
Talk to me, dude. You can't say that without telling me what you were seeing, dude.
so I was in India, and there was this like mountain that was like a holy mountain that people would like do this ritual where they walk around the mountain. It was like a few miles. was like a big parade, and I just remember seeing somebody, and their limbs were all like rearranged almost.
Like a real person or a statue?
Yeah, it was weird. Yeah, like
Oh, wow.
it was. I've never seen anything like that.
Like a real person?
Yeah.
What do you, dog? What do you mean? Like my bad. Like you dog. Like my imagination is going crazy right now. You got to like really like describe this. To
It
me.
was like, I don't know if they were homeless.
it scary?
Yeah, it was like, you know, eye opening and jaw dropping to see somebody like rearranged like that.
You keep saying rearrange.
I don't know,
mean
man.
like, what do you
I'm
mean? Like
trying
his
to-
arm was where his leg was supposed to be? Like,
yeah, like
what do you
literally.
mean? Like someone removed his leg and like put him into different? Like I don't understand.
Yeah, it was like, yeah, that's the only way I can explain it, man.
Oh man, dude, I'm like sick to
it
my
was
stomach.
really.
Dude.
I know, but that was like the craziest thing, man.
No, it is crazy. You know, so I had the experience to go to China, and I have a lot of great memories from China. But one of like my things that have just stayed in my brain, because you went when you were like, how old were you?
I was like maybe 19, 20.
20.
Yeah.
I went to China when I was 17, and it was like I feel like I wish I went when I was older, because I feel like as I'm older I don't remember the things as much, and I feel like I'm desensitized. But like when you're young, like these things are very impressionable.
Definitely.
Dude, when I was in China, I saw a dude with no arms and legs, and he just was like plopped on the side. Like he looked basically dead on the sidewalk, dude. And I felt so terrible. You know what I mean? But it's like, it's scary because, you know, I know that there's a lot of poverty in India. There's a lot of poverty in China too, just based on population alone. Though they both have so many people there.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, it's scary, dude. You like, is that like something that's like kind of ingrained in your brain too?
Yeah, I mean, it just like goes to show that like we live in a really wild world, man.
Yeah,
you
dude.
know, and like there's things that if you're exploring the world, you're gonna see things that you never thought you'd see. You know.
Yeah. And, you know, my sister had the opportunity to go to India, not last year, but the year before. And I remember her saying, at least the area that she was in, there was a massive trash problem.
Yeah, there's a lot of trash. Yeah.
Yeah, which is like, it's terrible, dude. And I don't even know what someone even does to like fix that. You know what I mean? But let's pull it back to music, dude. I just like, I found this very, very interesting.
We went far with that.
We went
bro.
far, but I just like, I just find it very, very interesting, because that's what I love about the podcast, though, is I like find things out about my guests that like, dude, I had no idea you went to India. I not only go to India, but like we're out there for 3 months and did a 3-day silent meditation. Like,
yeah, so much happened.
was there any music or anything you were doing out there?
Yeah, when I was in India, I rapped with a tabla player, and it was crazy because I didn't know what rhythm I was in. Like I'm an
idiot, dude.
Him.
What's a tabla player, dude?
Tabla is a traditional Indian drum that's commonly played with the sitar. And
Okay,
like
I know what it is now.
The classical music of India is called ragas, and with that, it's a tabla and a sitar and like a drone.
Bro, you're locking in on these international markets, dude.
I rapped with a tabla player, and it was like, I like flipped a verse I had, but it was like, I didn't know what, because their rhythms are different there. So I was like, just going
trying to stay in the pocket, dude.
Yeah, it was cool, man. It was wild.
Yeah, no, that sounds like a fun experience. That's like, bro, and this is why I'm like pro, like just do the thing, because I like am at a point right now where it's like I cherish the story way over anything else, dude. Like I'm always like, yo, who cares about saving the money? Just go do the thing, because it's like money. Like if all ended tomorrow, money would just sit there and be nothing. But like at least you had like all those great opportunities. You know?
I also believe that like if you set your mind to something, you make the choice, like it will figure itself out.
You're talking to the
of course there's going to be challenges, but if you really make that decision to do anything, whether it's go somewhere or work with somebody or whatever it is, like I don't know, I feel like the universe kind of aligns with you.
They do, bro. I believe in that more now than ever. I look at it sometimes as like delusional confidence, though, where it's like, dude, I have so many delusional ideas, and I guess they're not delusional because I've made a couple of them happen. But sometimes I feel very delusional because I aim for the stars, dog. I aim for the highest of high that I can aim for, and not everyone hits, you know, but I'm always better off because of it.
Yes.
But when it does hit, it's like, oh, we really can make this happen. And then it like, once you make one, then you start to feel unstoppable, because then it's like, oh, what else can I do?
Have you read this book called The One Thing?
Dude, I need to read more books, dude. I'm like slacking.
You can listen to it too.
I'm going to do it, dude.
It talks about what you're talking about, how like you aim super high and then it makes wherever you end up like
way better.
Because like
My goal,
it's all relative,
my goal,
right?
I had a friend that came on the podcast, Eddie Newstyle. He actually designed that little blue guy behind you. But
cool.
my goal is to start adding all the books that I read on the shelf over there too, so people can just look. But I'll add that one to the collection.
Man.
As y'all can see, I've been slacking. It's the same 2 books it's been since we started. But I promise you that I'll get to it.
I'll get you a copy of that book, bro.
Damn, dude, if you give me a copy, I'll definitely read it. Let's pull it over to your sync and things like that, because that's something that I reached out to you separately in recent times. You gave me so many gems, and I just fumbled the ball because I got too much going on, dude. But it's like, it's something that's it's important to me, but I guess not important enough. And I just got the 50 states pro. I don't want to give excuses. I can see you
crushing it with sync, and
I would love to, dude. But yeah, I want to know how you got into that world, and some opportunities you've had, and just tell me about everything that give us some gems about sync, dude.
Yeah, so sync licensing, like getting your music paired with film, TV, and commercials, that became really interesting to me because I saw it as a way for my music career to work out. And so it started with just going on like a rampage on the internet, finding companies that would accept submissions, and then reached out to a ton of them, and then out of a bunch of them, I got my music into a few music libraries and like sync agents who started pitching my music to different things. So one of those companies was Audio Socket, and they got my music onto All American, which is a Netflix show, and The Impact Atlanta, which is a BET show.
What was the moment that, like, where you're just sitting back on your couch, just like throwing on Netflix, and you're just like, that's me?
Dude, yeah, I mean, basically, I heard about this website called tunefind.com, and it's where you can find what music is on what shows. And so I was like, I wonder if my music is on any shows. And I searched for it, and my song came up on All American, so I like went and watched it. So I actually found out about it like by accident, and then I went and watched it, and then I was like, and then I hit up the licensing company like, yo, like I'm getting paid for this, right?
Yeah, where's my...
And then sure enough, like I got the check from that,
What does the check
later.
look like for that? Can I ask that?
Yeah, so no, I'll just say it was a few $100s for the fee. And then because the song is registered with BMI, I was getting more than that per quarter for a while, from royalties from just the back end. So I ended up getting more back end royalties than I did of the fee.
Yeah, and I think that's interesting for people too, because some people like, that's the thing. I think there's always like these when people hear sync, they're like, $100,000 to be using a Honda commercial. You know what I mean? Like, that's not always the case.
I feel like that is so rare. And when those $100,000 deals do come up, there's so many people gunning for them that it's like, you're better off going for like a $15,000 to $25,000 commercial ad. Yeah.
What's like one of the illest sync opportunities that you've landed?
Recently, dude, I just got a license with the NFL. Woo. I haven't seen the clip yet. I'm excited to see the clip, but yeah, I just got an NFL placement, and then Xfinity has been
the internet provider.
Yeah, internet provider. Yeah, has been doing placing my tracks for a couple years now.
That's like, so are you like in Xfinity commercials?
Me. No, my music is.
Yeah. That's I count. I count your music as an extension of you.
Yes,
your presence is in.
My music is in. Yeah.
Have you just been like chilling, like washing the dishes with the TV on in the background? You're like,
I'm always looking for it.
Yeah. Have you seen it though? Have you seen the commercial?
Yes, I've seen the Xfinity commercial, and these commercials are like 30 seconds, maybe a minute at most. Some commercials are only 15 seconds. I've done music for a commercial that was only like 6 seconds, and it was for like social media.
Yeah, but that's crazy. Like, so with the NFL thing, like, does that pay better than the other opportunity you had?
Yes, a little bit, but like the Xfinity thing is the
number one.
The number one, yeah.
Yeah, the internet providers. I was telling you before this, but like I did something with Frontier, the other internet company, and they came to my house and like filmed this whole video and everything. And there's a commercial out there, a Frontier commercial that I'm in that I've just never seen, dude. I've like tried to hunt it down. So if anybody sees a Frontier commercial, that I'm in or like knows anything about this, send me the link, pretty please, because I've been looking for it for years. I don't think it's any good, but I don't know. Maybe they didn't use it though. I always had that thought too.
Dude, that's the other thing, man. Sometimes people could license your music and they have a meeting and they decide something and it doesn't get used, or like
it still works out for you. It's kind of sucks though, because it's like you get paid for it still. I at least, right?
Yeah.
I got paid for it, like for the commercial I did, but it's like, dang, like I feel bad that they paid for it and didn't use it. Like, you know what I mean? But
I've had so many things that didn't work out too. Like I had lots of things where they paid me a fee to like make the demo.
Yeah.
And then they didn't use it. There was one where this company like wasn't liking the music for this like alcohol brand and they wanted me to recreate it, and it was supposed to be like an ice cream truck. What they said was it was supposed to be like sound like an ice cream truck. So I made something that was like an ice cream truck and it was fire, but then they were like, this sounds too too childish for us.
What the hell is an ice cream
like,
truck? Yo, you're too childish.
Yeah, it's like I feel like people in the advertising world don't always have the musical vocabulary to describe what they want.
Yeah, makes sense.
And so you can make something to the best of your ability by like trying to translate what
it's like, dog,
what
you
they
just
say,
asked me
like,
for a children's jingle, dog. That's
Dude,
what an ice cream truck jingle is.
The best sync license happens when you've made a song for yourself and it gets used.
Have you had that experience?
Yeah.
Which
the
like
Xfinity license.
Okay, that's fire.
This hits different.
Yeah. So like, what is that? So what does the final commercial end up looking like? You know what I mean? Is it just like somebody going to the door, ringing the doorbell, and then they plug it in, and then your song just starts fucking ripping?
That track, the Xfinity ad was more of like a product launch for this kind of internet that they're offering called Now, which is like a 30.
What was the name of the song?
This Hits Different.
Oh, that's a great song to use, because it's like, that internet hits different, dude.
Yeah.
You want that 5G, you want that 7G, like it's gonna hit different.
Yeah, totally. So yeah, like I love also making custom music and like specifically being able to like watch something and make the beat like while I'm seeing the thing is cool. I've done some of that before, but I just mean like as an artist, like if you make something that hits and like people just license it when it's already done, that's like the best case. Right?
Yeah, I want to talk to you about like your music career, because like, I mean, arguably I view the sync as that too, but I like want to talk about like more of like your artist side of it, you know, like in some of the songs you've created, and you know what I mean? Like, what's one of the biggest moments of success you've had outside of Snag that like maybe something more recently that you've just been like really excited about?
Definitely collaborating with KRS-One.
Insane, dude.
Yeah,
Can we talk about that whole process?
Yeah, he rapped on my song From the Woods. It was actually a remix because I impatiently released the original track on my album, like before he got back to me.
Yeah, you're like, yeah, there's no way KRS-One is. Let's just send it, dude.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then months later,
he's like,
his crew got back to me and they were like, we're down to do this. And it's basically a song about how like hip hop is like is from the city to the woods, and so like KRS-One's rapping on like a slide guitar, bluegrassy kind of beat that I made with my boy Ian.
That's so fire, dude. You just reached out to him via email?
Yeah, and like I had pre-existing mutual connections.
How did those come to be?
I was out west in California rocking with this guy named Dove who had this collective called Hip Hop Medicine, and he was producing shows, and he had brought KRS-One out for some shows, and this guy Zin, who was on tour with KRS back in the day, one thing led to another, and there was enough of like a mutual connection for me to reach out.
Yeah, that's fucking sick, dude. Yeah, and I don't think there's anything, bro, like especially with how I've been releasing music, I feel like it's good to be fluid like that, like where I have a song that I'm dropping now that I reached out for somebody for a verse. I don't think they're going to get it done by the time I need it, but I think they might still get it done. So like I might have a very KRS-One situation
do a
where
remix,
it's like,
bro.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was playing. I was just like, yo, if you'll do it, I'm still interested and we'll get it done. You may not be able to get it by my deadline, but if I just decide to do a remix of it, there really is no deadline.
And like I could have sent him other beats, but like that one is the one that I was vibing with. So I was like pretty stuck on having him on this one track.
Yeah, because sometimes you're like, yo, you know who'd be crazy on this?
And so like the cool thing is that after that, I had submitted some beats to him and he used one of them on his recent album.
Insane, dude.
So yeah, that was like a recent thing. That was in like 2022, I think, 2021. Yeah.
Do you have like a lot of production placements you land?
I'm trying to do more, man. I'm trying to make more beats for more people, but I have KRS, Ritz.
Oh, Ritz?
Yeah,
That's crazy.
I
Wait,
produced
what'd
a
you...
track with him and Just Juice.
Okay, I know Just
This
Juice
dude
too.
Ryan Mills presents, dude. He's from the Massachusetts, from north of Boston.
I know Just Juice is the one that looks like Jack Black.
Yeah, dude.
Okay, yeah.
He's nice with it.
Yeah, he has
so
the one.
I made the beat for that. Yeah.
Really? That's crazy, dude.
It's called Thought Pollution.
That's crazy. Is that the one? That's not the one where he's throwing the basketball back, is it?
No.
Okay, I was like, that's the only clip I've seen from Just Juice where he like looks like Jack Black and he's like,
Yeah,
and he's like,
yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, and then you said Ritz, dude.
Yeah, Ritz. So this kid Ryan Mills, not kid, this awesome person Ryan Mills, like basically was putting together these projects that brought together different artists, and he was like curating some amazing songs from that. So he like commissioned me.
I'm going to use this as an opportunity to plug a song that I have coming out in next week, because if I drop this the week that your album comes out, May 23rd, which we're going to talk about in a second, I have a song coming out next week in real time. If you're watching this past a week of this release, it's already out. But I have a song with Ritz coming out called The GOAT.
Bro.
With Jaron Benton and co-produced by Kato on the track. So
Amazing,
I'm using this moment
That's
right
huge.
here. Yeah. But Ritz is the man. So how'd you end up getting plugged with Ritz?
That was through the homie Ryan Mills.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
dude.
Ryan Mills featured him, and then I produced and mixed it and put it all together, and it was my like top track for a long time. I'm not even rapping on it. I'm just making the beat on that one.
No, but that's still really dope. I mean, that's pretty much me on most of my records.
Cool,
though.
man. Yeah, I'm really seeing my future more as a producer and beat maker, and like I feel like that will allow me to do more of the rapping and singing and stuff. But
It's funny. I see myself like, I feel like if you're switching gears like that, I also see myself switching gears the opposite way.
That's
dude.
awesome, bro.
So I think I'm going more artist too, as someone who. But to your point though, I feel like being a producer for years has opened up a grand of opportunities for me. You know what I mean? Where it's like, I don't know, I could go silly and just make, and also it just speaks to my soul a little bit too. You know what I mean? Where it's like, I made this song coming out called Lone Star, and it's silly and it's dumb, but it was so fun to make. It kind of reminds me of how you were talking about Snag earlier, where it's like, you just were like, yo, this is a silly, fun song, and you enjoyed the process of it so much.
absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, let's talk about your album, dude. Let's talk about it.
Let's do it, bro.
So the last single is coming out, or it just came out?
The last single just came out. That one is called A Bicycle Story.
Yeah, and it talks about your experience in New York.
Yeah, totally.
So let's talk about that. Like,
Yeah.
Let's talk about your experience in New York.
Yeah, man. So like, since I was like a little kid, I always wanted to move to New York. Partly because my
New
dad,
York City, just so people know.
New York City, yeah. Partly because my dad used to like bring me and my brother down there when I was a kid, and I was just like super into it, and we'd always listen to like Hot 97 and stuff, and I just like always wanted to be in New York. And so in 2009, I moved to New York City to study at the New School, and amazing just living there, dude. The campus was like the city, and I was doing shows at these like small clubs every weekend in this band I was in called Technicolor Lenses, and yeah, it was just like a really wild time, bro. But
so Bicycle Story kind of reflects on that.
Yeah, it was all during that time, and like the bicycle story was just like a crazy story about how I lost my bike and then I found it again like months later.
Tell me about it right now, dude. Tell me the bicycle story.
So I used to ride my bike to get around the city. Like that was like, it was like my favorite thing to do, really. And one day I went up to my boy's house, locked up my bike, and like we were chilling, cooking up music, and then the next day came down and it was gone. And this was like in the neighborhood I was living in Brooklyn, and I was just like determined to find it, man. Like I was looking over every bike shop, everywhere I could try to find my bike, seeing if somebody.
All your friends are telling you, dog, it's gone. Give it up.
Yeah, like months went by, dude.
And you're still looking for this bike. You're like,
at that point I was like, I'm gonna get a new bike, you know? And then one day I was walking up from the subway and my bike was sitting there, and it was unlocked.
How did you know it was your bike?
Because it had a green seat and a brown frame and white these white wheels. It was like super custom, dude.
Yeah,
Like,
it was just like clearly your bike.
and it was in the neighborhood where it was stolen. And so I just got on it and rode, dude.
That's so sick,
It
dude.
was scary, but I was like, dude, this is my bike.
Yeah,
Like,
this doesn't count as stealing it
it's
if
like
it was stolen.
I didn't have a generic bike.
You
It was
actually
like,
unstole your bike, dude.
dude, I unstole my bike.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's actually an incredible story, dude.
It was like after I let go of it too, you know?
There's a very, very powerful lesson to be learned there.
Yeah, dude.
I don't know what it is, but it kind of like trusted the universe.
Well,
I
it's
don't
like
know.
I did let go of my possession, so definitely don't be attached to what you have. But like,
if you truly love something, let it go.
I was
and
like,
if it's meant to
yeah.
be, it'll make its way back.
exactly, bro. Yeah,
That's bad poetic, dude.
it's true.
Yeah, so then that brings us to your next release, your album. Let's talk about
Vocal
it.
Points. Yeah, it's an album that was actually entirely produced by someone other than me, which is rare.
Is this your first time doing something like that?
Yeah, well, it's like my second time doing something like that.
But it's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a long time, and I usually make all my beats, but this was produced by Guess, my buddy Greg Somerville, who is an amazing musician, composer, and playback engineer for Logic and tons of other amazing artists.
Insane, dude.
Just did playback for Missy Elliott in Memphis.
How'd you
And,
connect with him?
I connected with Guess through Laura Escaday, who's an award-winning, amazing composer, musician, and playback engineer as well.
How'd you connect with her?
Connected with her through my best friend Jules, who is like my childhood best friend, still my homie, and he's a whiz when it comes to Ableton and playback. And
Now
stuff.
tell me about the first day you met Jules, dude.
Oh my God. I mean, I don't remember the first day I met Jules, but he was a big part of my life from when I was a kid, man. Yeah, like we were neighbors growing up, and he was also a musician, drummer, and we formed a band together in high school. And him and a bunch of us threw this huge music festival in New York State next to the Berkshires called the Big Up, and it was like thousands of people camping out. We were like just out of high school. It was like the jam band scene, electronic music. I had like a whole chapter in that world too. But yeah, Jules is like he's ground zero really for music and you know.
I just love hearing the domino effect of things, of like how things like happen. You know what I mean? That's why I like try to bring it back. You know what I mean?
really
That
brought it
far,
back.
but let's bring it back to the album too. Let's go vocal points. What's, you know what I mean? What's one of your favorite things about the album? Like whether it was creating it or like maybe there's a song on there that really speaks to you. I mean, Bicycle Story is a fucking insane story. I love that, dude.
Yeah.
But you know, maybe there's something else too.
Yeah, so there's lots of things about this new album that are different, and one of those things is that I'm digging as deep as possible in terms of like songwriting and vocals and lyricism, and just like trying to push myself as an artist because I'm not also making the beats. I was able to focus more on my voice and the lyrics. So the song Coming Alive is like a motivational banger about just like staying like fully pumped up, ready to go at all times, like motivational.
You know what they
vibes.
say, dude. If you stay ready, you don't have to get ready.
Exactly, bro.
I live by that, dude.
Yeah, man.
You could hit me for anything at any moment, and I'm good to go.
I
You know
love
what I
that,
mean?
dude. Yeah, I knew that coming down here, bro. I was like, my man is ready. Like,
Yeah, dude. I appreciate you making the trip, dude. Like, I still
doubt,
got
bro.
more questions. I'm not getting out of you. You're staying for a little bit longer. I'm gonna hold you
Yeah.
hostage, but like, yeah, no, I just really fuck with people that are like down to make it happen. And I think in music, like, it's something that like you need to do. You need to be proactive. You need to like make these plays. You need to come on the podcast to promote the album that's going out. Like, if you don't do it, like, no one's gonna do it for you, dude. So it's
Right.
like it's a weird career in the sense where it's like you basically hold your fate in your hands, and if you do nothing, nothing happens.
exactly, man. You really do get out what you put in, even if it doesn't seem like that. And some of those rewards could come much later. And I was listening to the podcast with Shy.
Shy Bugs.
Yeah, talking about how like you might need to do some things for free or what, and then you will get like make sure you get something out of it. You
Yeah,
know?
dude.
And I feel like
bro,
we all have to do that in different times in our career, and like it's really a beautiful thing, man.
It's
if
the
you
game,
trust
dude.
it,
Yeah, you have to
it.
trust the process, dude. Because, bro, I do. Even today, like, I'll just do things for free just because, like, one, either A, they don't take me that long, or two, I'm just, like, happy to help. You know,
Yeah.
a lot of stuff, bro, it's funny. I, like, talk about this all the time. Like, a lot of things I do, like, don't make money. You know what I mean?
Same.
Like, that's what I'm saying. But I do it, one, out of the love of the game. And, like, I've had moments where the money comes in and it hits, and, like, basically, it just stockpiles from, like, had I had not made all those efforts that I did for free, I wouldn't have got the opportunity that, like, brought in some serious cash.
Exactly, man.
You know?
I think that there's probably times in my career where, you know, where I've made decisions that may have prevented me from having an opportunity later down the line because it wasn't, like, paid or something. But I feel like we're all always navigating those decisions, you know? And, like, sometimes it's hard to tell, like, if you're being taken advantage of or you're getting paid or if this is just for the love, you know? But I do this because I love it, and, like, yeah.
I think one thing that I've learned, and I'm grateful that I've had this opportunity, but I got offered, like, a life-changing offer that I turned down. And it makes it very easy for me to turn down other things, too, because I'm like, well, if I wanted to do that, I would have taken that other gig. You know what I mean? So, like, going forward, it's like, you know, it just makes my decisions a lot easier because it's like knowing what you want. Knowing what you want makes your decisions easier. And that's, if you don't know what you want in life, stop for a second, take a step back, look at the whole picture and figure that out. Because the second you figure it out, then your decisions become way easier.
Exactly, man.
What's some advice that you'd have for, like, an artist on the come up, dude? I'm curious. There's something going on in your brain right now. I see.
Yeah, man.
What are you thinking?
When I was, like, looking at colleges, I went to visit Northeastern in Boston, and I sat down with the admissions person for their music program, and he was like, this is 90% business, 10% creativity. And I was like,
I'm 100% out.
I was like, I'm out of here. I'm a hippie. Like, I was like fresh out of a music festival camping for like 3 days. I was like, I hate money.
Yeah.
You know, and and looking back, I totally get what that guy was saying, because, like, if you want to do this as your career, like, it is a business, you know.
Yeah.
Like,
it's a balance, though, in my eyes.
The thing is, yeah, like, I would never spend 90% of my time on the business side, but in order for it to work out, there is a lot of business involved.
Yeah.
And that's why it's so important to block out your time for creativity. So, like, for me, like, if I'm really disciplined and on my best behavior, I'm, like, waking up, getting straight to making music and blocking out, like, 4 hours.
Is that when you create best, in the morning?
I did this morning, dude.
Oh, let's go, dude.
And it is, because there's nobody's hitting you up at 6, dude.
You're waking up that early, dude.
Yeah,
we're on different schedules, dude. I hate that I'm this guy now, but I'm up till like 3, dude. I'm one of those
like,
dudes.
Part of the week I'm up till like 3, 4 because I'm, like, going to Producer Mondays in New York City, and then, like, I'll get my rhythm back, and then
You're getting less sleep than me, dog.
But, like, I don't wake up early then.
Yeah,
it's like,
I get what you're saying.
It's like I get back, and then a couple of days later,
They kind of like stagger.
Wednesday or Thursday, I'll wake up at 6, you know.
But you just, the truth of the matter is, you just need to find a rhythm that works for you. You know what I mean? It doesn't really matter, like, as long as you are on, like, a schedule that works for you. And I honestly feel like for the first time in my life, I'm truly, truly on a schedule that like works for me.
Yeah, and it goes back to the advice, like, that I would give is, like, just, like, block out your time to be creative without any distractions, because that's what's going to make you the best artist. And, like, I really do believe that the music, like, it matters the most, you know, like, everything else can wait.
Yeah,
like,
the music is the most, you know, I talk about that with my 50 States project too, because, you know, I started it January last year, and it comes out soon. I haven't released the date. You know the date, but, you know, I haven't released the date to the public yet. But nobody's going to remember how long it took. They're just going to remember if the music was good or bad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, no one's going to, like, I think of the Kendrick Lamar situation last year with Drake, where it's like, you know, it took him like almost 3 weeks to respond, and everyone was like, oh, Kendrick's washed. Kendrick, like, he's like taking 3 weeks. Dog came out with the most diabolical rollout that we have ever seen. And ain't nobody sitting there like, oh, he took too long. You know what I mean? No one even thinking about that now. So, like, just know, the point I'm trying to make to people out there, though, is like, just get it out there. Don't think about it too much. You know what I mean? Like, don't worry about the time. Just like, because you might feel it more than the people are actually caring, and no one's gonna remember. No one remembers
Absolutely,
the waiting,
bro.
dude.
If you put out good music, it doesn't matter when you're dropping it. Like, I feel like if it's a vibe, it's a vibe. Like, just keep putting music out. I'm actually trying to go back to like more spontaneously dropping things, you know?
I just did, dude.
Really?
I dropped today. It's a Wednesday,
Great.
dude. You know what I mean? I drop it again on Friday.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I've like, it feels so like, bro,
It brings you back to the beginning, bro.
Bro, I love it, dude, because it's like the algorithms like post on Fridays and give it 3 weeks to say. I'm like, shut the hell up, dog. I'm posting Wednesday, I'm posting Friday, I'm posting next
streaming
Wednesday.
platforms?
Bro, I'm going sick, dog. Like,
Great.
Bro, I've dropped, dude, in this month of May, I'm dropping 9 songs.
I love that.
As singles, dude, and it feels
and like,
so cathartic.
are you like pitching them?
I'm pitching
like,
them.
I
still pitch them.
There's some that you can't pitch, right?
Well,
it's like,
I still pitch. Like, I pitch as many as I can.
Yeah.
But like, I also, dude, I'm at a phase where like, not that I care, but I don't, dude. I just like the freedom of just releasing and not being a fucking stuck to these algorithms is so nice and rewarding for me. And like, if you've seen any of my socials and stuff, it translates over because I feel so free with the process that I'm not,
bro.
I'm sticking to the Mike Squires script. I'm not sticking to this fucking game that they put me in. And I like whatever it performs, I don't care anymore. You know what I mean?
Dude, I love that.
Yeah.
I'm coming to a similar place because like there's so much on my hard drive and like I want to share it. Like the minute I finish it, I want it to be shared instead of like a year goes by, it's still there. Like, bro, I have songs from 2013 that haven't been released.
I hate that the game has done this to us because I know when you started, it'd be like finish the mix. It's like out that night, the next day. Man. You know what I mean? Like, let's get it up there.
Yeah.
You know?
So like you're gonna see me putting out a lot more beats on like YouTube and Bandcamp and SoundCloud.
I was gonna ask you if some of your looper stuff is on your like Spotify.
Yeah, so right now I'm finishing all those, and like the thing about my album dropping on May 23rd is like after that, dude, the floodgates are just gonna open.
Let's go,
like
dude.
with the album, I have been following a very like
plan. I know, stick to the algorithm plan. You should every once in a while.
I have so much music to share like after that, so
I think it's just gonna be so cathartic to your soul, dude, just to get just getting it out there. It's just like it's like the best feeling, dude.
Yeah,
like the song, I have a song that dropped today and I like, you know, I haven't even, dude, I'm so detached from like the results too. Like I don't even care anymore. Like, because I'm doing it for me.
You
like,
have to. Yeah.
So yeah, you saying that just gets me excited because like I think more creatives should do that, dude. And I think there's a lot of creatives that are like, well, it has to be uploaded 4 weeks before. And honestly, like there is some value to that, obviously, if you're trying to do some stuff. But it really depends on what your goals are. Like, I think there's also value in just going against the grain and doing what works for your soul, because I think you'll get the best results anyways, you know?
I totally agree, man.
And if people are gonna listen, they're gonna listen anyways. Like it doesn't matter exactly when. It's like, oh, just because you didn't upload it 3 weeks in advance and fucking pitch it, like no one's gonna listen to your stuff now. Like, nah, dude. Like if people like it, they're gonna listen to it anyways. That's the truth.
Exactly.
Of it. But then it's on you to promote it.
Yeah, for sure, man. Yeah, we've been dropping singles every month, and then the album's gonna come out. My favorite track on the album is "Moving with You." It's
talk to me about it.
It's faster. It's like 125 BPM, I think, and I'm singing on it.
Let's go,
which
dude.
is another thing. Like I've been taking vocal lessons, and I've been singing a lot more. And this one's way more like pop and pop rap kind of vibes.
Well, that's exciting, dude. Like, is that like a new style for you that you're really excited about?
Yeah, I'm trying to sing more and like make music that people can move to as well. Because
some vibes, a little groove.
Yeah, dude.
I like that, dude.
I love making like classic hip hop beats and stuff, but I also want to make more music like this.
Dude, you're talking about this is getting me excited too, because
cool, bro.
You know, like I'm starting to put my vocals on records more. It's probably my biggest insecurity at this moment. You know what I mean?
Great.
Just because and it is great. You know what I mean? I like pushing myself out of and I have this song I talked about a little bit before called Lone Star. And I don't think I sound amazing on the record, but you can tell that I had a lot of fun making it. You know what I mean? And I think there's kind of that, like sometimes just capturing the fun, like, I don't know, I'm going to put it out there and just see what happens. But like, I don't know. If you can get, and I feel like you're in a similar realm, that's why I'm bringing this up, where it's if you can get in this place where you're like this flow state where you're just creating and it's just like fun.
Yeah.
That's where the best success is going to happen.
Totally, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fun making this album with the homie Greg. Like at one point we were recording in the studio and like my car got towed and we had to like go find my car
For
in
3 days,
Hoboken.
you like gave up on your car, and then you were getting off the subway, and your car was right at the top. And you hopped in.
And we did have to go find my car, and like there were like a lot of things during the sessions that were like really formed the album, you know? Like it was just like there were moments where
In the Berkshires, your car got towed?
no, I was
in New York.
I recorded a lot of this album in Hoboken, New Jersey at the Diner Studios.
Okay, that makes way more sense for being towed, dude. Because if you got towed in the Berkshires, that person's a dickhead, dude. Ain't nobody, bro. There's parking everywhere.
But yeah, making the album was mad fun, bro. And
Tell me one of your like favorite memories, real quick, or just like something like a funny moment that like stands out to you.
one of my favorite moments was taking Greg's vocals and putting them on the MPC and then like playing them over the Bicycle Story beat.
Oh,
and
that's
like
sick, dude.
if you hear the end of the track,
That's all his vocals.
I'm like
chopped.
sampling his vocals, and it's like it was just a really cool production moment where we like put all the vocals on the MPC and then I was like chopping them up and sampling them.
Yeah, I think having fun with music is an overlooked thing these days. Everyone's trying to be so serious. Everyone thinks it has to be. If you can like channel that, I think that's going to be one of the best things.
Yeah.
Josh, I got a couple more questions, and then we'll get out of here. One question I want to know about you though is what's something that we don't know about Jackson Whalan? Like if obscure talent, a story from your childhood that is insane that we may not believe, but you should tell it anyways. Something, dude. There's gotta be something.
There's so much. Let's see. Well, what's one of the things?
The one that you're thinking about might be the one, dude.
Yeah. Well, I'll say that like the thing that I never show anybody is that like I love cooking food.
I love that, dude.
And like it's like I don't show that. Like I'm not like on my Instagram like, yo,
Bro,
here's dinner.
Bro, imagine
But-
looping your cooking though, dude.
Yeah,
That'd be hard, dude.
Totally. Yeah. I will, bro.
You have to do it.
to.
Cooking up the beets and the broccoli, dude.
Yeah.
That's crazy, dude.
But yeah, like that's just something that's like always been a big part of my life that I don't really like share with anyone or acknowledge, or like I just do it. Like I just cook food for my family, you know?
What's your signature dish?
I mean,
Chef Whalan, dude.
nothing special, bro, but I really like a good salmon dish. I don't know, man. There's like
I love salmon,
yeah.
dude. I gotta have you over, dude. I'm gonna make you chef up in my kitchen,
Yeah,
dog.
dude, I'm down.
Chef Whalan, dude. Cooking up
yeah,
the
so,
beets
like,
and the
yeah,
salmon. I love it,
exactly.
dude.
Like, it's not something that I would like that I ever talk about, but I would consider it my only hobby because it's not.
There's an art to
You
it though,
know?
too. I view cooking as an art very much too.
Yeah.
I've been slacking on cooking, dude. But when I was like, since I moved back to Stanford, I've been slacking just because I've been working my butt off down
Yeah,
here.
man, you work hard, bro.
Thank you, dude.
I see you.
But dude, during like the pandemic where things slowed down for me, I like got a little too nice, dude. I was just like, yeah, a little,
Like, oh.
yeah, a little too nice. You can interpret that how you want. But yeah, I was good with the cooking, but I have fallen off since then. But it's fun, dude. It's like I
Yeah,
like
man.
garnishing the dish. I
Yeah.
like the presentation. I like, the whole thing.
Definitely.
Yeah. What's one like? What would you say though? Like, what's like a dish that you cook that like you kind of got out of your comfort zone and were like, I'm gonna try this one.
Man, it's hard because I only do like regular stuff. Like I haven't done that yet.
Yeah, well,
I'm gonna have to do that and then
come back
tell
on,
you.
dude. Yeah, come back on the pod. We'll like kick it off with that. Honestly,
Yeah.
we'll do our next podcast like while we're cooking a dish together.
Dude, that would be fun.
Yeah, I got a plug down here that has like a whole like kitchen set, dude. That'd be
Okay.
fun, dude. We get the looper and like just
Yeah,
have a
we
pod.
should
We'll set up the
loop,
mics like
dude.
this.
That would be mad
funny,
fun.
dude. Do the whole pod to a rhythm. But yeah, Jackson, if you had like a message to the world, something you wanted people to remember you by, what would it be?
Really just like hoping that we can all get along, you know?
I love that, dude.
I mean, yeah, I think that building community and being with each other in real life is like so valuable. And like, that's why I do this music, is because I just want to bring people together, you know, around the world, and for people to feel something and feel inspired. But yeah, I think that I'm like definitely an optimist, you know what I'm saying? Like I think that we can achieve world peace, you know what I'm saying? Like, and music is my vehicle for trying to play a small part in that.
And I think like it's just like the laughing in silence earlier. You know, the more people that put that energy out there, the more people that'll attract. And like, you know, it'll domino into just more people being positive and optimistic, you know, because it just shows that, you know, good things can happen, but you just got to put your mind to it. And like, I find the opposite. If you're a negative person that focuses on, like, that's when bad things happen because you're just living in this negative bubble.
We see it all the time.
We see it all the time.
You just got to keep your head up and live through these times the best you can. Like, we got this.
Yeah. Well,
yesterday.
Talk to me, dude.
Sorry, bro. Yesterday I was like, do you ever go on camera and you're like talk on camera and you're like, this is like the worst time in my life, or like
I'm
try to be vulnerable, right?
I'm pretty honest. Thankfully, I haven't been in that time, but I've been there.
So like, it's been a challenging couple months for me, right? And I was like on the camera selfie mode, like this is tough. And then at the end, I was like, keep going, stay in it. We got this. Let's go. Like, that's my message to the world. And I just dropped like, instead of like posting the rant, I actually just like did a loop video yesterday. I just posted it and I just made the hook, like, keep going, stay in it. We got this. Let's go.
Bro, I love that though. And that's the truth, dude. Like and life is a roller coaster. You know what I mean? We all know that. It's like, it has its ups and downs, but the key is just not to stay in those downs. You know what I mean? Just like understand that they're going to happen. Not every day is going to be great, but it lands on you to like, you know, okay, tomorrow's a new day. And even just like later, today's a new day. If you had something bad happen in the morning, like don't make a fucking bad moment be a whole bad day.
Totally. And it's like, if you're a musician or anybody who's struggling, like I said, this has been the toughest month, but it's also been the best year.
Can we talk on it a little bit before we get out of here? Because
man.
What's going on, dude?
When doing music, if that's all that you're relying on, it can be really unstable, you know, financially, and just like deals not coming through, or like not having consistent enough income, but being too busy with it to go and get a job. It's like you could find yourself in this in-between point, which is where I'm at right now. It's like, this is keeping me busy enough to keep doing it, but it's tough, you know? So like, that's the thing. It's like, gotta stay in it. Like,
oh yeah, dude. Trust me. I relate to what you're saying. It kind of goes back to what I was saying, dude. A lot of the stuff that I do doesn't make like money, dude. It doesn't like, it's kind of like a lot of other, like I'll have random opportunities that kind of like hold me down, but it's like, dude, I like this. I shared this in a podcast, like talk about being vulnerable and just like transparent with the people. 80% of my 50 States project has lost money, but the 20% has made the whole project worth it. You know what I mean? So it's like, you know, take that for what it's worth. But that's what I'm saying. Like sometimes like it doesn't look, and granted, do I think the 50 States project over time will make money? Yes.
Definitely.
You know what I mean? Like, of course. But as of this right now, like, you know what I mean? Like my bank is screaming, dude. My bank is getting bullied to submission, dude. But it's just like,
appreciate that honesty, bro.
Yeah. But I just like, it's just part of the game, dude. So like, I don't want, you know, for other creatives out there, like just know like, some people might view it like I got it all figured out, but even me right now, it's like, it's tough, dude.
A lot of artists don't talk about when it's tough. Dude, you know La Russell?
Yeah, of course.
I did a consultation call with him and Tieta.
Okay.
And I was talking to her, and then he came in, and because I was like, things are tough right now, da-da-da-da. And he came in and he was like, you need to share that, because like people don't know that. He was like, until you share it, and like the thing that people want from you is you. And so if you share something that's vulnerable, people appreciate that, you know? And like, we all have to like, especially artists have to be like, everything's going great. Like I just had this and this is coming. And you know, instead it's like, yo, I'm going to be real with you guys right now. This is what it is. And like, I think
it's the best way though. And like, I've like got to this place, and it's not easy. It's not easy. What you're saying, like, you know, I feel like I'm in
even
a spot,
right now.
Yeah,
I'm
it's like, you know, dude. But I I don't know. I've just been open and honest. I got like nothing to hide. I got no skeletons in my closet. You know what I mean? But I also just like tell people, it just makes it life easier for me though too, because it's like, if I'm just honest all the time, it's easy to keep track of things because like I'm just telling exactly what happened. So it's like when someone asks me about it again, I'm hella consistent because that's exactly what happened. You know what I mean? So you just live your truth. Like if you live your truth, you don't get caught in lies.
Totally. And so much of it is about mindset and just like, you know, you'll hear people like Snoop Dogg will say like, I don't get paid for my streaming. You know, it's like no matter what level you're at, like there's always things.
Something, dude.
There's always something where like it might be difficult, but you know, I'm so grateful to be able to do this and definitely grateful, you know, for you, bro. Like
I appreciate you. And the last thing I want to say is like, you don't know what's right around the corner, dog. You drop this album, a song lands on sync, a song just beams up for you, bro. Like that's the thing. Like, like you said, you just got to keep going because you could be like, not you, when I say you, I don't mean you specifically, but like a creative out there could be ready to give up with their greatest opportunity moments away.
Right there, yeah.
You know, so it's a game where you just got to trust the process and just fall in love with the journey, fall in love with the highs, fall in love with the lows, and that's where the success will be.
Yeah, like it's not going to stop unless you stop, right?
You're your own worst enemy. You're the only thing that stops
like,
you.
Just keep going, and those chances are still there.
Yeah, and also like another thing too, like I know I feel like we're going back and forth, but I love it. But you know, just being outside and going out there, that's like when you chase opportunities will come just from being outside, dude.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like showing up to the place, doing the thing. You never know who you're going to meet if you go do the thing.
Yeah.
So
that's my other, going back to advice for people is like, don't be timid, you know? Like there's been times where I've been like timid enough that I just missed something that was right there for me if I was going to like go and get it, you know? But and so I'm you know, always getting better at just like practicing being like proud of my work and there to be like engaging with people. And if something's there, then go and get it, you know?
Jackson, I loved having you on the podcast today. I had a lot of fun. This is a great combo, man. Dude. Like I feel like we could talk forever, dude.
Definitely, bro.
But no, I really enjoyed it. Like, you know, it's sick though, because I feel myself getting like, I'm trying to be a better podcaster. You know what I mean?
Great,
but
man.
I feel like this combo like I just had a great time, dude. We talked about India, you know, the goods and the bads out there. We talked about a lot of cool things, dude. The sync, I think there's a lot of value. I don't talk about sync a lot on the podcast.
Yeah.
So I think that you added a lot of value to, and who knows, like maybe, great segue. If people want to connect with you and find you, how can they?
Yeah, anywhere. I'm on Instagram, TikTok. You can go to my website, jacksonwhalan.com.
Spell it out for the people, dude.
WHALAN. Jackson Whalan, and really you can Google me anywhere. There's so many avenues to get in touch, but I'm usually pretty responsive on all those platforms.
Let's go, dude. Well, I appreciate you coming on the pod, dude.
Dude, thank you so much.
My God, dude, I appreciate you making the trip, and you know, I wish you a safe journey back.
Thanks, man. I'll let you know when I get home.
Thank you, dude.